Hey, what's up, man? So I want to have a debate or a conversation about motivation versus discipline and whether or not one is superior to the other. All right. Because I hear a lot of people, say this whole deal that you don't need motivation. What you need is discipline, and it sounds good. In theory, I think it sounds good, whatnot, but I couldn't disagree more, right? And I'll tell you why. So before I do that though, I would love for you guys to follow this channel if you haven't already done so. I make fitness content on a regular. Be sure to share it out, the whole nine, man. You can also get with me on other platforms as well. I'm on IG as O'Keefe Perk, as well as TikTok, as well as YouTube and Snapchat. You can follow me on all of those platforms at O'Keefe Perk. Okay. With that said, let's get into it, man. So is motivation more important than discipline, or is discipline more important than motivation? Right? Like I said, from my vantage point, one is not superior than the other. I truly believe that motivation is how you get to the discipline. Like if you're not motivated, I don't see how you ever get to the point where you're disciplined in your approach, right? And again, I hear a lot of people say you don't need motivation. What you need is discipline. But for me, if I'm not motivated each and every single day, if I don't have motivation, then I never get to the point where I can be disciplined. Meaning I never get to the point where I can be in that place where I'm doing it consistently if I'm not motivated. People that think that you don't need motivation, I really want to know, like, what's your thought process in that, and explain to me how I can be disciplined about something if I'm not actually motivated, right? Because again, it sounds good. It sounds like one of those things like, oh yeah, I ain't got to be motivated. I just need to be disciplined. But I think it's a deeper meaning into that, to where we think that we don't need things in the sense that one thing is better than the other. I think that they go hand in hand, right? I think that one gets you to the next. Okay. So not that one is necessarily more important than the other, but the motivation leads you to discipline. Like every day that I go to the gym and do my thing, every day that I eat my food and all that, I had to have motivation to either get to the point where it's like, okay, this is something that needs to be done. This is something that I want to do, right? I have to have motivation in order to be disciplined, right? That's my vantage point. So I would even bring some of you guys on if you want to challenge me on that thought process, or if you want to chime in and give me a little bit of your insight on what you believe as it relates to that. So if you guys have, some input, you can leave a comment down below. I'll read it out, or you can come on up and I'll let you join in on the conversation, and we can have a build about this whole topic and idea of not needing motivation, but you need discipline. Again, I disagree. I think it's one of those deals that sound good. Maybe somebody that was, a celebrity or somebody that had a lot of clout or whatever said it, and people just clung to it and went with it without really just taking a moment to kind of like process, what does that even look like? Like, what does that even mean? Because again, I think that you need both. You can't have one without the other. I think that in order to get to the point where you're disciplined, you have to have motivation. And to me, that motivation is the why. Like, why are you even doing this? Like, why would I even want to be motivated? Why would I even want to be disciplined? And it's like, the reason you would want to be disciplined is because you got to have motivation to want to. Man, and the people that's watching this on the replay, please enlighten your boy on whether or not you believe, or what side of the equation are you on when it comes to motivation being more important than discipline. To me, I don't think one is more important than the other. However, I think if you don't have any motivation, you're never going to get to the discipline. So with that said, you can never get to the discipline if you don't have the motivation, right? There's a lot of people out there who are disciplined, but they're disciplined about the wrong things, right? I think that you could be disciplined about sitting on the couch watching TV, like that could be your approach. You discipline into that. And maybe somebody say, no, that's not how it works. I don't know. That's why I'm opening up the discussion, and I want to have this discussion with y'all. All right. What's up, MIA? In the business, in the building. How you doing, Marie? So yeah, y'all, I want y'all to have this conversation with me, man, if you will. Watching from Sweden. What's up, Sweden? We in the building. Sweden in the building. I appreciate you, brother. Shouts out to Sweden. Shouts out to Miami. Shouts out to the Philippines. If I never was motivated, I would have never got to the point where I was disciplined, where I would meal prep every day, where I would hit the gym every day, where I would do things that's good for my soul every day, that's good for my spirit every day. If I didn't have the motivation, the discipline sounds good, but how do I get to the point of being disciplined if I'm not motivated, right? To me, that's my thought process. That's my mindset. So I'm challenging anyone who thinks otherwise, thinks that discipline is more important than motivation, or you don't need motivation. I'm challenging anyone to come up and have this conversation with me. Right? Or if you agree, like I would love to hear someone else's standpoint and just where they're at on this, right? Because I like I said, I've been telling you guys, this is something that I want to do, and I've been wanting to do for a long time, is get to the point where I'm able to have sit downs and conversations with people, and we can kind of begin to build a community where, yes, we're going to talk about fitness, and yes, we're going to hit the gym. But after we hit the gym, we also going to sit down and have intellectual conversations and be able to sharpen each other's minds by, peeling back the layers. And let's have these conversations. Let's talk, and I'm hoping that you all are willing to do that with me, man. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to doing on a regular basis. All right. You all engaging with me on that level. So again, the topic is motivation more important than discipline, or is discipline more important than motivation? If so, why? Again, I'll give you my reasonings. Like I said, I feel like motivation is the why. Like, why are you even doing it? Like, what makes you even want to be disciplined? Like, you have to have that in order to get to the point where I'm disciplined, get to the point where I'm doing this said thing on a consistent basis, time and time again, because I have the motivation to do so. I have the inspiration to do so. Like, I've been ignited, that's one of the ways I look at it. To me, motivation is the igniter. Without something being ignited, I never can get to the point where I'm disciplined. So I need to be ignited, right? I need that fire to be lit under me in order to get to the point where I can sustain myself over a period of time. But again, I have to be ignited. I think we have to be ignited as people. We have to have a why. We have to have a reason to do it, right? I'm a football coach, or I'm a sports coach by trade. We currently in the middle of basketball season or whatnot. So my whole life is revolved around trying to get young men and women to see their potential and go out and play a sport, or come to PE, because I also teach PE, come to PE and be enthused about, doing things involving health and fitness, whether that's running, doing push-ups, PE. Everybody had PE growing up. It was a requirement, right? So my whole life revolves around this whole concept. So things like this really mean a lot to me, because I really like trying to get into the psyche of people, because, I think it's important. I think a lot of us lack motivation. A lot of us lack motivation, and because we have no motivation, we never get to the point where we can be disciplined. And that's because we have no why. And the why is what's going to ignite me and what's going to fuel me to be disciplined. But I got to figure out why. And that why is the motivation, right? The why is the motivation. If you don't have that, it's going to be very hard for you to be disciplined at something, right? With that said, man, I ain't going to keep beating a dead horse. I appreciate everybody that came up. Please leave a comment down below.